symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
What's happening, everybody? The Job Guys back with you once again. That is Nick over there, Ryan sitting right over here. We are hitting you up early on a Saturday morning because, well, that's when the pay-per-view was, Nick. Elimination Chamber coming to you from Perth, Australia, which I think is like 15 hours ahead of us or something like that. Both of us are on the East Coast. So it was a 5 a.m. bell time. Unless you wanted the pre-show, and then you had to be up even earlier, which I did not happen to see that. But, yeah, 5 a.m. bell time. So, yeah, we're a little sleepy this morning, but pay-per-view is over with, and now a little bit clearer look now at what we will get in the championship matches for WrestleMania.
Yeah, they even told you, they gave you two options on SmackDown as they were fading out. Either are you staying up to watch the pay-per-view if you're on the West Coast, or are you waking up early if you're on the East Coast kind of deal, you know? And yeah, I guess the title belts are decided, I guess, the title matches. So we're set to go there. It was kind of, Ryan, almost a throw. I mean, this might have been the definition of a throwaway pay-per-view, though, as far as did anything happen? Could we have just announced these matches on Raw?
Right.
Would anything? And you brought it up to me the other day as we were chatting. This whole thing where it seems, and it's across the brands, whether you're an Impact or an AEW or a WWE guy or gal, there's no feuds anymore. It's a battle royal for who gets to fight the champion. It's a tournament for who gets to fight the champion. It's an elimination chamber for who gets to fight the champion. I mean, how many times are we going to do this? And these ones just got, I mean, they were pretty much self-telling stories. They had already developed that it was going to be Drew. It was going to be Becky for the last month or so on Raw and
at
SmackDown.
Least. Yeah, and that's the biggest problem with this pay-per-view is, man, you know, sometimes the obvious is the right thing, and you could make that argument, I guess, here.
The right people
holy
won.
crap, every single match, you knew who is going to win. And that's the trouble with doing these matches for your world title, because you know who is going to win. That's why we were so interested in the Royal Rumble, because we weren't really sure who was going to win that match. But here, especially with the injuries and suspensions, or you're out of here for life, Brock Lesnar, with those things going on, it was so obvious what was going to happen here. Let's begin with the very first match of the night, Nick. It was the women's elimination chamber. As you said, as expected, Becky Lynch is your winner. She will go on to fight Rhea Ripley, which they had been talking about for like 2 months now. Just your thoughts on the match, and if you want anything on the stadium, over 50,000 were there in Perth in the big rugby stadium out there. Your thoughts on the way it looked and the setup and everything, and then the match itself.
You know more about the stadium setups and stuff than I do. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought the fans were interactive. I thought the fans were great. The match, Brian, we've talked about this too. I think it's time to go down to a rotation. 1 year the men are in the chamber, and that year the women are in the Rumble. I know they'll never do that because it's statistics and you know, money and all that. But I mean, I feel like I'm watching the same chamber matches every year almost.
They said there's like the 34th chamber match. Isn't that what they said?
Something like
that's crazy.
Just, how many times? I mean, as soon as it started, Cole mentions the glasses of the chamber pods are bulletproof. Okay, someone's going through a glass again. You know, I mean, it just, I've seen people do the moonsaults off the top, and, you know, even giving credit to Impact Wrestling, they had this cage style. I've been watching people jump off these massive cages, the 3-tier cage WCW. I mean, we've been seeing these massive matches for a long time. There's just not a lot left to surprise us and do. I mean, these people have soared off. The match itself, the first 5 minutes to me were brutal, Ryan. Becky Lynch and Naomi, two people who I actually really like. The choreographing, oh my God, it seemed like they wanted to do Savage Steamboat, quick pins and everything. And I'm telling you, I'm reaching out. I'm trying to get people to watch this. I told Stephanie, I got my brother to watch the Royal Rumble. They both came back with the same thing. What is the deal with all this choreograph stuff? Like
Yeah.
the casual, the turn it on, used to be Attitude Era fan, not feeling that. But the rest of the chamber, I thought was a really good match. Outside of, again, there were some people went for some power bombs off the turnbuckle where they didn't quite let go or let go too early. There were a few things that didn't go as well. But overall, I thought after Stratton, who freaking got in a huge ovation, way over there, way over with me. I thought she was awesome. I thought she could have actually pinned Liv. I don't. I know me. People know me and your feelings on Liv. I don't probably hate her as much as some other people, but we've seen Liv. We know what she is. Stratton's. I don't
Do
understand
we?
why. Well, we but Stratton's this upcoming person.
Mhm.
I would go with her. We haven't seen what she can do for years, on the big roster, but really cool finish. A counter on the KOD, which again Becky fell out of. She didn't land the stick point. Which those little things bother me. But again,
Right.
then the end of it was really cool how they went kind of boom, 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 pin, pin, pin. It just Becky counters the KOD, Liv pins Belair, and Lynch manhandle slams Morgan for the win. It was a good match outside of the choreography and the choreographic stuff in the first part and a few botches.
Yeah, the women's match much faster than the
Mm.
men's match was. That
Yes.
was more methodical, except for the spearing and whatever
Looked like
through
it
the
looked like
pods.
men's and
But
women's
yeah,
soccer. There was a lot more guys laying around on the male side of the field.
he's been killed. Um, yeah, obviously, this is what you were hoping for.
Yeah.
When you knew Becky was going to win, that you would come away saying exactly what you just said. Hey, finish was good. I liked the way it ended. Left a good taste in your mouth there at the end. Yeah, Tiffany was way over at the press conference too. She was getting cheered big time,
She was sweet.
and they booed when she lost, right? When she
Yes, they
was
did. They were upset. Yeah, the fans hometown or not hometown, but sorry, the Australian fans. Were Perth, right? Yeah, they were upset. Yeah, they were really in. She seems like she's over, Ryan, or getting there.
well,
People want to see her.
she's got, and I've only seen her 3 weeks or something like that. She's got the whole package though. She
I
obviously
agree.
has the look, she can work, and the gimmick,
And
and
she's
she's
not,
good at it.
and she's strong. She had two of the women on her back at one point and was going to press them, but they fell off. But she is. I mean, she can bring it.
Um, we will talk about WrestleMania after we wrap everything up and where we think certain people are going. So if you have any thoughts on that with any of the women, hold those thoughts. Let's move on to the next match, which was the guys Universal or whatever they're calling it, undisputed tag team title match. It is Damian Priest and Finn Balor taking on the big strong boy and not Butch. This match is actually pretty good. Lots of movement, good double team moves. Priest and Balor doing a lot of good double teams. A lot of times when they wrestle or they're even on TV, which is like half of Raw, I'll turn it off just because they're on so much. I know people are really into them now with what's been going on with R-Truth. But yeah, so I'm not sitting there watching a ton of their matches. They were actually pretty good matches.
I just don't care, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of, what are you doing? They're always arguing. And is this guy in the group? Is this guy not in the group? What about this guy? I got the case.
And even even if Judgment Night is more relevant than I thought they would be, but the other two, the Butch and the Butch's friend, I forget.
Yeah,
I'm
well, they
sorry,
just
Ryan.
got put together,
They need
and
to get taken away.
I know they are
But
majorly over with the internet crowd, and everybody's gonna click off right here. I don't get it
I
at
don't
all.
either.
I don't see it. I don't understand it. I did not watch
Not for me,
NXT, let
brother.
alone NXT UK. so I have not seen either of these guys. I just see they're both incredibly small. And
Yes.
the female referee was like a foot taller than both of them in this match. I'm not kidding.
Hey, I was going to
The
ask
big
you,
strong boy, like
what is
that
that?
seemed. Well, what is that? That's so weird. Like, what
It's
is that?
that's very
I'm the big
that's
strong boy,
Vincy, isn't
and
it?
he's doing this when he waves, and it's just he's
Hmm.
wearing legit like whitey tighties. Like I don't get it at all. I don't like the way he hits the ropes constantly. Remember when Ambrose, he doesn't do it in AEW, but when he was Dean
Fell
Ambrose, like
back
he'd
into the rope.
fall back
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
second rope. This guy like jumps into the top rope and bounces off with his shoulders and then comes back like, no, you have no momentum at all
I
once you
don't.
do
Yeah,
that. Like
it's
it
not my.
totally kills. It's weird. It's awkward.
Yeah.
I don't like it. All of that said, there were some good moves. Finish here was
Cool.
pretty sweet too.
Yeah, it was.
They were gonna double suplex. Instead, the one guy who's
Grab
a
the
man
ankle.
size, double choke slammed the two
Yeah,
guys off
Balor
the
grabbed
top
the
rope.
ankle and stopped it.
Balor
Yeah, it
grabs
was a
the
good
ankle,
fit. It
then
was a good
Balor
finish.
goes for the stomp. But yeah, the one, the one guy with actual size used it finally, and that was the finish
Ryan, I
to the
was going to
match.
ask you,
Right team won for sure.
is there saving Dom at this point? He seems like a joke to me. He seems like they
Well,
have
he
taken
always
something.
was, but
But they could have done something, Ryan. He was legit over with heat. Now it's just become cool to boo him.
right.
Is this guy savable? Because I think he could be. I I still like him. I don't know what it is. I would like to see them do. I think he should beat Gunther.
Yeah, that we came up with that the other day, and that would just be,
They
oh
would
my
boo
gosh,
because people
that
love
would be
Gunther.
incredible.
They would hate
People
him
would be
too.
so ticked, and they wouldn't
He
see that coming.
he
But
ruins the
it's not
streak.
gonna happen. But
No, it's
yeah,
not. I
it
mean,
if anybody was gonna do it, that would
well, I
be a
mean,
guy to do it. It'd come out of
it's
nowhere.
open because we can talk later. There were some moments in these chambers that I think we're not getting matches we may have thought we were getting.
Oh, I don't think we're getting anything close to what people online have been talking
No,
about.
I don't
No,
either.
no, not at all. Anything else on that match at all? Like I said, good, well worked
Yeah,
match.
Ryan, I
I
have no
don't
problem.
take those guys
I
seriously
don't
at
either.
all.
The
I
new
just
tag team I
don't.
don't take seriously.
That's what I mean.
Damian
Yeah.
Priest, he's a guy, Damian Priest to me, it's one of those guys I want to cheer, but I don't like I can't. Like I just he's got the look. He's big enough. He's getting better on the mic seemingly week to week. But maybe it's this group. Maybe it's that he's got a case that I know he's not ready to cash in at any
Right.
point. I don't know what it is. It's just it's missing something. His character, his gimmick, his something's not there. Finn is kind of just there, but those two are still better than the other two that they were fighting tonight. The other ones are immediate channel change, fast forward for me.
Right.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Judgment Day retains.
All right. We go to then the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson's over, because he's from Sydney. He comes in, but Theory actually brings him out. And they don't like Theory at all. So they're booing Theory. Waller comes in, introduces both Seth and Cody. They're massively over. People want to sing the song and everything. They've never had a chance to do that over there before. So they're doing that. Waller immediately says, you need to acknowledge the tribal chief. So, which was good, but I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere here.
Yeah.
Nothing happened the rest of the time. So everything that happened on SmackDown last night with the two of them,
the wall, I
was
guess
for
he just
nothing.
told him to make Earth acknowledge.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. That was what was so important. Like nothing happened. So that kind of was disappointing. Seth says he's about to get cleared. Good news. We figured he would be, but that's good news to hear that he's going to have a month that he's cleared to be
Brian,
able to come
I think
back.
that's great news. And I say it in this manner. it really, again, I still think McIntyre is going to win at Mania, but being that he's cleared and not maybe undergoing surgery after WrestleMania gives an option that maybe he could beat McIntyre at Wrestle. It's not a
Yeah, if
maybe
he doesn't
as
need
where
surgery.
right as where if he needed surgery, pretty much 100%, we're taking this guy out for a while. We got to move the belt off him.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think for fans, that's great news, and good for Seth's career too.
I perked up right here. Cody says the question is, why did I step out of the match and then step back in? And then he didn't answer the question. I'm like, that's what this whole thing is about.
This has been a
he
crap
brings
show.
it up.
This is not the first time they keep doing stuff like this. Stop doing it.
And then he goes, then he starts talking about the people's champ. I'm like, all right, he's going to tie this together. He's like, no, you need to be around the people to be the people's champ. And again, didn't answer, the question is, why did I do this? Well, now's your chance. You're on a talk show. Now is the chance to do it. Cody then says he has an announcement. I'm like, all right, well, here we go.
Yeah.
And then the announcement was, I'm wide open. I want The Rock anytime, any place. Still didn't answer why he gave The Rock a spot at Mania and then took it back. So, and then they end up beating up everybody. And Seth tells him, you're not going to walk alone. So does that mean I'm going to be in your corner? Does that mean we're a tag team? So we're left once again with more questions than answers coming out of this talk show. I didn't like this one bit.
It was pointless. Nothing changed.
Nothing.
We learned nothing. Nothing was said. Nothing was cleared. Ryan, the one thing I'll say, and I'm watching him, Grayson Waller, he should manage. I see Bobby and Piper in this guy. This guy could get dudes over. Like, I really think he has a better ability to affect the industry on that stick than he does in the ring. And I think this guy could do a state. You could put him with these guys that can't talk, and you got a lot of them today. I really think they're going, because I just don't see him drawing as a competitor. As far as, like, he's smaller, maybe mid card. I don't know that he's world title caliber.
He's tall. He's like 6'3". He's tall. He's not like jacked out of his mind, but it's his clothes. He looks like a goof. Cornette talks about that too. They got to do something about his wardrobe, because he looks like a goofball, and he wears big old baggy shirts and stuff. So, yeah, they got to do something with the gimmick, but they brought him in as like Miz 2.0.
Right.
And
I just love him. He's quick.
He's very quick.
He's really good with it. And not only the quick, because, and this is, I think, what Bobby brought as well, it's the delivery with the quickness. It's got to fit where it goes. And there's certain guys who can just say things. I liked Waller, but other than that, the rest of this segment, our boy is dead, Ryan.
Who's that? Roman?
Theory.
Oh, Theory?
Is there even a point to, I would book Barry Horowitz in a match before this guy now. This is awful. They have this guy beat John Cena at the last year's WrestleMania. And he's just been used as cannon fodder to whoever comes out, whether it be comes The Rock out, beat up him. Yeah. Here, go punch her and kick Austin Theory. I don't know what happened there, because I thought he was money. I really did.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead, but they need to do something with him. I don't mind those two guys together either. I don't mind. They're
job guys, though.
But yeah, they got to win. Meanwhile, we got a guy in his underwear fighting in the world title match. But Theory and Waller can't get in a match.
I feel like Theory is on that Dolph trajectory. Like, they had something, and it's gonna be the way Dolph kind of. Because again, he's another guy compared to Theory because I think they missed on Dolph. I think
Oh
Dolph
gosh.
could have again. Do I think he could have been Stone Cold Steve Austin? Probably not. But do I think the guy could have main evented a WrestleMania or co-main evented a WrestleMania? I certainly do.
Well, he's the IWGP Global International European Champion or something
That's
like
what I
that.
heard. He's in
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling if you want to watch Dolph and Nick Namath, I believe his name
Anything
is.
else about this segment other than I
It didn't
just
work for me,
what
brother. Waste of
happened?
time.
Like what did we get out of this?
And it's not like they needed it. The pay-per-view already went 3.5 hours
Right,
for
with four
four
matches.
freaking matches. So
All right, so we got two more matches to go because we're going on that pace right now too.
yeah.
Guys chamber match. Drew and Knight start this sucker out.
Mhm.
KO is next. Lashley comes in. They busted up his arm last night on SmackDown. Yes. They were playing that up. Orton is next, and then Logan is last. KO, kind of cool. It kind of picked up there. KO goes in and gets Logan out of the pod and like threw him around
that was
bit.
great because everybody was down. And the way the camera panned, God bless the cameraman again, because they're looking at Logan and it kind of just moves, and there's like KO just standing staring at him. And that was a little bit, I don't know, I don't remember. Maybe we have seen it, but KO comes in, locks the door behind him, and just starts smashing.
Couldn't get out there for a minute either. Locked
I thought they were in some trouble there for a second. Yeah. Hey, and how good can Logan Paul please sign a full-time deal?
This guy, he has, but I'm not sure.
Because he's freaking awesome, dude.
Good.
He's got it in the ring, on the stick. I love Logan Paul. Again, folks, I don't know anything about him from his social media escapades and whatever he does outside the wrestling world.
No,
I only know this guy in the wrestling world. But in the wrestling world, he's money.
Yep. You just want to see him get pounded on. And
I want to see him win.
Yeah, he gets speared through the thing by Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Chance breakout. Oh, don't get too excited. Bobby's the first one eliminated. And they even said something on the mic about, Bobby got with the Street Profits and said he was going to lead them to glory. Well, they haven't really had it so far. 2 seconds later, he's pinned.
Ryan,
they are jobbing these guys out.
The announcers, Corey Graves, Cole had to cover for him. I don't know, just a couple I underlined here. Graves calls out Knight for being cold since his loss to Roman. Don't freaking say that. It is true. It is 100% true. That guy has tumbled since they put him in there. He calls out Lashley. This is what he said, for not delivering the promise of like riches to the Street Profits.
Right.
And then in the first match, he's terrible again. Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan both come out, and he starts talking about how their experience, and that's going to play in for this. Becky comes out. She's never been in there. That could play into her. That's a good positive side that she's never been in there. Her inexperience. Corey, pick one. I mean, it can't be. I'm sorry. He was, and then he messed up. He wasn't paying attention when there was a mocking of Drew. He was mocking CM Punk. Go to sleep. Michael Cole called out what was happening. 30 seconds later, Graves is like, and he was mocking CM Punk, and Cole's like, yeah, dude, I just said that. I don't know. I thought Graves was just, I'm sorry to go off on a side note. I thought Graves was awful tonight.
He's awful. Used to being the play-by-play guy nowadays, I guess. Yeah, Bobby's the first one out, and then out of nowhere with a chair comes AJ. Out of nowhere. So they say he got in the cage when they were trying to take Bobby out of there. He just lights up LA Knight 10 times or whatever it is, and then he immediately gets pinned.
I think we saw that recently too, though. Someone came in when the door was open and cost someone out, like just within the last year or two of.
Yep. And then we get KO gets RKO'd. That would do it. Yep. Logan Paul was trying to load up his knuckles. They were the last three there with Drew. He was loading up his knuckles, and then out of nowhere, he gets it, and that sets up the finish, which is Drew. And he gets RKO'd, but Logan's still in there. Levels Orton, gives Drew the victory. So then Drew is your winner, as we all expected as well. But as you mentioned, this match here probably changed a whole lot of what people at least thought they wanted to see at Mania. I don't think we're going to see a lot of those matches that are coming out of here. This match was fine. I didn't think it was great or anything.
But it was fine.
It was fine.
Yep. That's
entertaining.
again, I didn't have a problem with most of the matches on the paper. It was just you knew who was going to win. They gave you that slight second at the end when Drew McIntyre walked up, and you were like, "Wait a minute!" All right, and I'm glad it was Randy because he was the only other guy that logically made kind of sense that could win that match. And he was hesitating. You knew Orton was going to RKO him. Like, how is he? Is he going to kick out of the RKO? And then boom, there's Logan Paul, which we can only assume Ryan is setting up now Logan Paul, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania.
It's got to be. I mean, It's got to be. And then, maybe you put KO in there too, and it's a triple threat. That would be the only thing, because the other thing, what everybody, for whatever reason, people came up with this like in the summer, it's going to be Logan in LA Knight. Logan in LA Knight. That doesn't look like it's going to happen at all. It's going to be AJ and LA Knight. And then, maybe a three-way between those guys. Logan, Randy, and KO possibly in there as well.
You think they could have worried, and I'm not trying, because I'm an LA Knight guy. I like LA Knight. He's not my favorite, but I like him. You think they might have been a little worried LA Knight versus Logan Paul? Because he's not one of the upper echelons in the ring, LA Knight. I wonder if that was me, because AJ Styles they'll put on a hell of a match, but I thought it would be time to put a belt on LA Knight at WrestleMania, if you're going to go with this guy.
Yeah, and the other guy you could look at would be Gunther, but I think most believe that's going to be Sammy versus Gunther with the way they're pushing Sammy right now. I think that's what people think. But no, I mean, it's not going to be LA Knight. We know that. No, it's going to be AJ. Which
do we want to see that?
I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. I mean, AJ right now couldn't be colder. No. I mean, since he came back, he went after Knight for like kind of no reason.
He punched him on his Knight back. His argument, I believe, was he was next in line to fight Roman, and LA Knight overstepped him and took his spot.
Again, he was hurt.
Yeah, but this has now been going on for, I guess, months that he's had this, and it's such a minute grudge. It's not a great story.
Is he bad? Is he good? He's wearing jeans. He's like beating up his friends in the back. It's like, what is this? Is this Gunther or the Judgment Day? Like, why are you fighting your friends? Like, what is going on? They're not explaining anything. I don't know what they're doing with him.
Me neither.
He's fighting LA Knight, I guess. That's what they're doing with him.
A crazy approach to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, since you're on it, before we get to the main event, that's the thing that's crazy to me is a month ago, 6 weeks ago, people were like, this could be like the greatest WrestleMania ever. And they listed all these matches. And I don't think we're getting any of those matches now. Like, not a single one of them. So, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Main event, Rhea against Nia Jax. Rhea, obviously from Australia. You knew what was going to happen here as well. She wins.
Yeah.
I was looking, even though she did hit it, I called this match months ago, and I thought we were going to see a Hogan-Andre moment here. Mm-hmm. And I think you kind of did,
maybe.
But it wasn't like what I thought it would be. I thought she was going to body slam her or do the pump handle, and apparently, like, physics, like, you couldn't do it, and like hold her up and then drop her down. That didn't happen. She did suplex her off the rope right before hitting the finisher, but man, it kind of got stolen from me a little bit, and I said it when it happened. When Jade Cargill came in and picked up Nia Jax, put her right on her shoulder, then dumped her over the top rope, and she's flexing while she's got her up. Like, to me right away, I go, you just stole Rhea's moment at the Chamber. And it was a cool thing for Jade, but that kind of ruined it for me. I was waiting for this girl to ragdoll Nia Jax, and it didn't happen.
I think a lot of people were, right. I don't know. It was still a fine match. I mean, they still built Nia. The announcers built her pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
They did a great job with her since she's been back.
You knew who, but again, it's the same story on every match on this card. You knew who was coming out at the end, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no shock that nobody thought Nia was walking out of here with that world title, dude.
No.
Am I fair enough to say that? Like, I mean, I don't think anybody.
No, nobody on earth. It was just, how were you going to do it?
And you gave the fans what they wanted, I guess. So there you go, But again, Ryan, this pay-per-view, I mean, it just gave me did we need it? Like it
seemed kind of like almost like a crown jewel or something. Like there was what was the point of any of this?
Right. Going into WrestleMania, I mean, everything you knew. I mean, they couldn't have, this could have been built better if they had maybe not just so slanted toward Becky, slanted toward McIntyre.
Right. They already had the feuds. We didn't need these matches.
Right. I mean, and I have said this, and they will never do it. You got to get the Rumble in these matches. I don't know what you're doing. It's just, you got too much time between the Rumble and WrestleMania to try to drag this out as like who's going there. And I think this year it caused a problem, a huge freaking problem. You're giving people too much time to think about it. And I know that's some people thinking it's not a bad thing. Well, they kind of booked their own WrestleMania. And I think there's a good chunk of us, I like to almost call it like a silent, at least equality, if not majority, who are upset. Who are legitimately upset about what's going to happen at this WrestleMania. I've been, he's been waiting for 2 years to finish the story. That's great. I've been waiting for 4.
Right. For Rock Roman.
Yeah,
which well, and the funny thing is we still, like we said, nothing's cleared up. We have no idea what's going on. I was surprised Rock wasn't on the show last night. I mean, they taped it last Friday. I mean, he was there.
Right. I know.
Why didn't they do anything there? So
I have no idea.
And the Roman stuff was just in the back. Yeah, I guess they are advertised for next week's show, so he'll be there, and we'll see what happens if he accepts Cody's challenge or whatever. But then again, what do you do there? Does he fight night 1 against The Rock, and then
I don't want to watch Cody fight The Rock.
I don't want to watch any of these matches.
None of them. None of them. I mean, the only one I'm okay, I guess, Drew McIntyre, I want him to win the title. Like that, I will tell you that. I like what they've done with Drew. I think he's awesome. I think he's the only really interesting thing on Raw right now. Everybody else, even the guys great. I like are kind of old. But yeah, other than that, this WrestleMania is not shaping up. And there's a ton of guys, Ryan. What are they doing? Like Kevin Owens is now up in the air. What are we doing with this dude? Gunther, what are we doing with this dude? I guess maybe you're thinking Sami Zayn. I don't want to see that either, Ryan. Like, I would have hoped at this point in time Sami Zayn had moved past that title. He has had these hasn't he had the IC and US title, 1 or 2 of them multiple times in the past?
Yeah, I mean, they're worth more than they were back then, especially the IC, since Gunther has had it forever. So yeah, I guess they're worth more. And if you don't have that belt, where are you? Because all these other guys are in the main event mix, and he's not. I mean, Sammy there.
Okay, so just moving forward, Sammy beats Gunther. If you're going that way, I don't know if they want him to or not. Then what with Sammy?
Well, we've been saying that with Gunther forever too.
Right.
Where with Gunther, if he keeps winning, I mean, there's nobody for him to fight.
No, I don't want to watch any, I'm really bummed about this WrestleMania at this point. I know there's time there's what, 42, 41 days or something like that
Yep.
that we have. So I hope it gets better. I'm just not very interested right now, Ryan. And it seems like WrestleMania, I mean, I guess they could throw us a few swerves. It seems like it's going to be Predictamania too. It's gonna. I assume McIntyre is going to go over. Because they got to set up the Punk thing. He's feuding just as much with Punk as he's going to be with McIntyre heading into this, calling him out, wearing the shirts. I mean, Becky, I could see Becky not winning. I could see that one, them kind of pulling the wool over everybody's eyes and continuing the run with Ripley.
Bailey's winning.
She has to. I mean, what do they do with Io? Like this has been.
What are they doing? Nothing.
People are mad at Roman. Where's the Io heat for the belt? Roman doesn't defend, neither does she.
Yeah. Who has she fought at all?
Who has she fought at all? And so that I don't know. And we all assume Cody will finish his story.
He has to.
Yes, right. You'll kill him. Yeah, that'll be it for Cody. So
well, you kill the town.
Yeah,
they almost killed the town by not having him in the match. Imagine if he loses again.
Yeah. I don't know, Ryan, but if we do the tag match, I think it would be beneficial if the tag match is on night one. Roman pins Cody in that tag match, in my opinion. I think that's what happens. Setting up he's now pinned him twice. Can he do this? Heading it, and then Cody goes over the next night. I don't think Cody losing in a tag match, because you could make it controversial how he loses in the tag match. And
that'd be absolutely predictable for the second night, but it's predictable anyway.
It's coming, right?
Yeah, what's coming. All right, Nick. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for getting up early and doing all this early. And thanks to all you for watching early or late or whenever you're watching. We appreciate it. Please hit like if you can. Please hit subscribe if you can. It would help us out a ton. And leave some comments if you want as well. And hopefully things do get a little bit better for WrestleMania. I know the Cody fans are very excited as it is right now.
What does everybody think's going to happen? Post some cards. I'm curious to see what people think what way are they going, because I don't know.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Nick.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Out.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.